just eat salads all day or do these generic meal plans that where you just only eating and drinking, doing like detox stuff. Guys, listen. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to drop your next 30 pounds while still being able to enjoy yourself. Eat the foods you enjoy eating and still have a social life, okay? This is something that came to mind because your boy just turned 35 last week, and I went out to Nobu, and when I was at Nobu, I had a nice healthy meal, but I still had, a Nobu old fashioned, and then over the weekend, I really been enjoying myself these past couple of days. Had a burger and a fry, and then yesterday I went over to Velvet Taco out here in Buckhead, Atlanta, and had me a chicken and waffle taco. And so, a lot of people would think, dude, how are you eating like this and you still got abs at 35? How are you eating like this and you still able to have energy and be in shape? Like, what's going on here? And so in this video, I'm gonna share with you how this is a lot easier than you might think it is, okay? It just requires a couple of different things that I'm getting ready to share with you. But also, these are things that don't just work for me, okay? It's working for my coaching clients. These are people who are busy, high-achieving men and women, have very demanding careers, a lot of responsibilities and obligations with their family, but they're still able to lose weight, get rid of belly fat while enjoying their life, okay? And so the first thing is this. You have to shift from this sugar-based eating, like just straight pleasure, just eating a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, to prioritizing protein, guys, okay? Our body does not break down sugar, and our body just doesn't agree with it as, it never did. But when we get older, when we get into our 30s, our 40s, our 50s, our body can't break that stuff down. And it causes a lot of health issues because we're very sedentary. Even if we are moving and working out, that's still not enough, okay? This is how folks end up having type 2 diabetes, heart disease, okay? Having brain fog and dementia, signs of dementia at a very young age because of the poor quality of food that we eat, okay? And so instead, we want to shift to eating more protein-focused foods. So, for example, yesterday, I went over to Velvet Taco, and I had me a chicken and waffle taco. Obviously, it's not the healthiest thing to eat, okay? For that meal, I was eating based on pleasure. But I still had protein in that taco. You see what I'm saying? And so having that protein is going to help you avoid the sugar cravings, because if you're eating a lot of food that's just like stuffed and packed with a lot of sugar, a lot of carbs, what's going to happen is it's going to spike your insulin. It's going to spike your blood sugar. This actually makes you want to eat more sugar, guys. This makes you crave more sugar, more carbs. And so instead, eat something that has protein in it. A burger is actually not as bad as y'all might think it is. You can eat healthier options when it comes to burgers, okay? You eat a Kobe burger, a Wagyu burger. It doesn't have to be, the typical high-fat beef burger, okay? But I digress. I was eating a taco yesterday, and so it had a lot of protein in it, helps curb your appetite. It's actually gonna help with your metabolism too, even though it's not the best quality. Eat more protein, increase your metabolism. That way you can burn more fat, guys, okay? And it keeps you full for longer. I remember at one point in my fitness career, when I was doing in-person training at that time, I just do coaching now, help people all over the country. But I didn't really understand nutrition as well back then. And I found myself like eating a lot of different carbohydrate foods, the French fries, the bagels, and the donuts from Starbucks, things like that. And I'm like, after I would eat it, an hour or so later, I'm hungry again. I'm like, how am I hungry again? I just ate. And I'm talking about, I would be eating sausage McGriddles and all that kind of stuff from McDonald's. And I'm like, this stuff has so much calories in it. I would think that this would sustain me for a longer period of time. But that's what they call empty calories, okay? This is why it's important to eat protein, foods that are dense with nutrients, chicken, salmon, steak, okay? Fish, like, I said salmon, but there's other fish out there too, halibut, mahi, things like that, okay? Very, very important to eat these things, not just for weight loss, but also for your overall health. If you notice that you have brain fog all the time, you're tired all the time, you're not as mentally sharp as you want to be, this could potentially be early signs of dementia because of how you're eating. And so that's why it's very important that you start eating better, start improving your eating habits, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing, you got to shift from this eating the cookie cutter diet, the restrictive diet. That's why I hear a lot of times when people reach out to me on social media, man, I need a strict meal plan. and what I say to them is, dude, how long can you sustain that strict meal plan? How long can you sustain eating chicken and broccoli every day? I seen a trainer on social media the other day. He was telling folks to eat chicken, mixed vegetables for breakfast, chicken, broccoli for lunch, and then for dinner, eat chicken and mixed vegetables and avocados. I'm like, man, who in the hell want to eat like that all day? What about when your baby have a birthday and they want you to eat cake with them? Or you got to travel for work? Or you going on a birthday vacation, you traveling or whatever. You telling me you go eat chicken and broccoli or chicken and mixed vegetables on your birthday too? Or when you're traveling? Or what about when you're at the business meetings and everybody else drinking wine and they eating steak, you know, at a nice steak restaurant, but you gotta eat chicken and broccoli? Come on, man, cut it out. And so this is why we use something called flexible nutrition over here, okay? This gives you the freedom to still eat foods you enjoy within reason, okay? But you have structure around how much you're eating. A lot of people don't realize how quickly you can actually start seeing results once you dial in your eating habits, okay? Let me give you an example. I have a coaching client who's actually still in my program named Kataka. And this guy works in law enforcement, you know, high ranked, so he was very busy. And he just didn't have a whole lot of time when he reached out to me. And so he was like, man, dude, right now, I just don't have the time to hit the gym like I want to, but I do want to get going though. And I said, well, that's totally fine because the nutrition is what's the main thing that's going to help you lose the weight anyway, okay? And put him on a nutrition plan. He was still able to eat foods he enjoyed, but you know, I showed him the other foods to eat also and the portions to eat as well. First 3 months, he dropped 21 pounds. Now he's down over 60, guys, okay? Because after the first 3 months, he freed up a little bit of his time. He was able to start hitting the gym and plus the nutrition. Now he's down 60 plus. And this guy's in his 50s, man. Like, guys, losing weight and being healthy and in shape is not an age thing. When you have the right systems in place to support your lifestyle, your schedule, your goals, your fitness level, it doesn't matter what age you are, okay? That's leverage. You can get better, faster results at 40 and 50 than somebody that's in their 20s that's just making excuses like, oh, I'm just gonna work out and I just eat what I want. Like, you can get way better results. Like, I see guys that's in their early 20s and mid 20s right now, they nowhere near as in shape as I am. And I'm in my mid 30s. It's all about having the right systems, okay? And then the last thing is this. You still gotta have structure. It doesn't matter whether you're, whether it's the weekend, whether you're traveling for work, or whether you're traveling for vacation, because a lot of people I tend to help, they have the means to be able to travel. And so here's the thing. Whether you're eating healthy or if you're not eating healthy, you're just enjoying yourself. Whether it's good food or if it's wine or tequila or bourbon, you know what I'm saying? I like drinking those things. You still have to have structure, guys, okay? And what I mean by this is most people think, oh, if I just eat healthy, I'm gonna lose the weight. But they wonder why they're eating healthy and the stomach ain't going nowhere. They wonder why they're eating healthy and when they step on the scale not moving. This happens because just eating healthy is not enough, okay? And you don't have to even eat healthy all the time when you start eating the right amount. That's why I say structure. This is calorie intake. A lot of people say, I'm gonna start, I gotta get my portions on point. And then I ask them, well, what's your daily calorie intake? They don't know. So how can you know what your portions need to be if you don't know your daily calorie intake? Calories is just a metric of energy, guys. That's all it is. And so if you overconsume on healthy food, AKA energy, you're not gonna lose weight. And so the people who are, I'm just gonna eat salads all day. I'm just gonna eat chicken and broccoli all day. If you overconsume on those things, you're still not losing weight. And then you could be looking at somebody like myself, eating burgers and tacos and things like that. You're like, man, how you look like this? No, it's gotta be genetics. No, it's gotta be your age. No. It's people in their 50s, it's people in their 30s early and mid-30s who I do game plan calls with, they look like they're in their 50s because they're so heavy. They're 30, 50, 100 pounds overweight. That weight ages you so fast. That's why I don't just talk about losing belly fat. This is also about longevity. Some of y'all have kids. Some of y'all have demanding careers and people who are dependent on you. Like, guys, your body has to perform for you. And so you have to fuel it properly to be able to support your ambitions and your responsibilities. Otherwise, if you're not happy with how your clothes fit, you see your weight going up, you don't like the way your belly looking on you, what's going to happen if you don't start making some changes? What's your life going to look like in a year, 5 years from now, guys? This is why it's important to have structure. There's this movie that I love looking at, John Wick, Keanu Reeves, and one thing they talk about in there is, we got to have rules because these rules keep the wolves out. And if they break a rule, you excommunicado, right? For all my John Wick folks, you know what I'm talking about. And I love that saying because it's important. It's the same way even when we were kids. I mean, I used to play outside with my buddies in the neighborhood, and when the lights come on, we know the rule. Get in the house. When it hit 8 p.m., we know the rules. Turn off the video game. Otherwise, we get in trouble because we're staying up too late, so we're going to be tired when it's time to go to school the next day. Or we stay out too late. It's how little kids be getting kidnapped. This is why they have rules. And so even as adults, guys, you got to have rules. Otherwise, there's consequences. So rules is things like knowing your calorie intake, knowing your daily protein intake, hitting the gym, non-negotiable, 3-4 days a week. These are rules, life rules you have to live by. Otherwise, it's going to be consequences. Your clothes not fitting, you start to lack confidence, you start to lack energy mentally and physically, so you can't be as productive and excel in your career the way you want to. You can't truly enjoy time with your family and the people you love and care about because you don't feel good. You're not happy with how your body's looking. I've talked to hundreds of folks on game plan calls who are just embarrassed and shameful because of how their body looks. They don't even want to go outside. I was talking to a young lady the other day. She didn't even want to go to church no more because she wasn't happy with how her body was looking. Now she's inside the program now, and she's dropped a couple of pounds, and she's like, I feel so much happier going to church. I feel so much better. I see my body going in the right direction. Guys, this your life, man. It's your life. Your body is your number one asset. People who are successful, we think a lot about these things of, hey man, I gotta make the right investments in this in the stock market. I gotta make the right investments with the properties and the business and all these type of things. What about making the right investments with your health? What about making the right investments for your confidence, for your future? Not just the body you have now, but what it's gonna look like and feel like 3 years from now, a year from now, 5 years from now. You gotta start thinking about these things. This is high level thinking. Low level thinking is, man, I'm just way too busy. I'll get to that later. Because when later comes, you go push it back again. Procrastination. These are limiting beliefs that I see hold so many people back. You got to get started, man. It doesn't have to be some crazy bodybuilder workout routine, some starvation diet, some generic meal plan where you're eating salads all day. You can still enjoy yourself. But you got to have structure. You got to have awareness. You got to have the right strategy that's going to support your lifestyle, your goals, and fitness levels. And when you get these things, guys, this is how you start living that good life. I'm telling you, your life is already good. You're successful in your career. Your family doing well. How much better would it be if you on point? Your body, your health, your energy, your confidence. How much better would your life get? This is what I preach over here. High performance lifestyle. This is a lifestyle. It's not just weight loss. All right? We out here. Let's get it.